Welcome to the Sober Edge podcast, inspiration for alcohol-free living. I'm your host, Terry Patterson, functional nutritionist and This Naked Mind senior coach. The Sober Edge is a place to explore the infinite possibilities on the other side of drinking. In a culture soaked in booze, discover the wonder and joy of taking a different path. Meet real people living lives of purpose and passion, learn the truth behind the alcohol myths, and get ready to be motivated, inspired, and astounded by what is possible with the Sober Edge. All right, well, I'm excited to connect with you and do a solo episode today because I want to talk about something that is really important. And this is 3 steps to stop drinking now. You know, the thing is, when we are at the beginning of the journey, we often don't know where it is we're supposed to start. I get clients and people who have inquiries to work with me who really feel stuck and need some kind of a roadmap. So today, I want to share with you where I believe it's important to start. And I firmly believe there are 3 points of consideration. And I say this because I really want to give those of you who feel stuck a place to start, to get into momentum. It's so powerful to just start. And when we are in indecision, when we're carrying a lot of weight from not knowing what to do, or we're almost fooling ourselves saying we don't know how to start, or we get mixed messages about what it looks like to start. I want to clear all of that away today and give you what I believe are 3 powerful steps to get started now. Now, full disclosure, I've written an entire course on how to stop drinking now called Stop Drinking in Your 50s and Beyond, because again and again in my business, I find women who are really in this place of not sure how to start. And that was me. And so my heart goes out to you if this is you. I don't want you to stay stuck. I don't want you to be in that hamster wheel, that Groundhog Day, any longer than you need to be. So I want to help you focus today on 3 key areas. So the 3 areas we're going to talk about today are number 1, knowledge, number 2, tactics, and number 3, application. Now, this journey and this path and this race is going to look different for everyone, but we all need to get to the starting block, right? So let's break down knowledge, tactics, and application. So let's start by talking about the first one, knowledge. And what I want to say right off the bat is this is not knowledge as in, if you know things, then you can do things. We often get caught up in what is this information action fallacy, IAF. And that's where we fall into the trap of believing that we know better and therefore we will do better. How many times have we heard it said? I know better. We say it to ourselves when we're beating ourselves up in the morning after. And again, it's just not enough to create lasting change. Knowledge is only one part of it. So when I say that knowledge is super important, I'm talking a little bit about a different type of knowledge. And I want to break this down into the why and why not. So here's the knowledge that I believe is critical as the first step, the starting place in your journey to alcohol freedom and to lasting freedom. So when I talk about knowledge, I want you to really explore, why do you drink? I don't want you to pretend that it's not fun. If it is fun, I don't want you to pretend that, oh, I'm not really drinking that much or I'm mostly over it. Instead, I really want you to dig into the knowledge you have, that you alone have, about what is it that is appealing to you about drinking. And this is a super important place to start. So take out a pen and paper and get really honest. What are the things that draw you toward alcohol? It might be that you really enjoy turning off your brain. It might be that it gives you that second wind to get everything done. It might be that it's your time. Someone said to me once that picking up their glass of wine was like the taxi sign when the taxi said off duty. So perhaps what you enjoy about drinking is you get to check out for the evening. Perhaps what you enjoy is that little bit of euphoria. Perhaps you enjoy the anticipation of looking forward to numbing out. Get really clear on what it is that alcohol is doing for you in the moment, and that alcohol is doing for you and why it's showing up in your life. If it was all bad, chances are you would have ditched it before. So somewhere in your knowledge bank are these answers to these questions of why am I drinking? What do I like about drinking? Get really honest. Perhaps you like the taste. Perhaps you like the sophistication of being a red wine drinker. Whatever it is, start there because this is a really key part of knowledge. We can't make any change we don't acknowledge. That's where the word knowledge comes in, right? So then I want you to think about why you want to stop drinking. And I also want you to be really clear and really honest with this, because I think we can get caught up in the noble part of not drinking. Oh, my friend said she stopped drinking so she could be more present with her grandchildren. That sounds really good. That's why I want to stop drinking. So be careful. Don't borrow someone else's ideas. Take this time to get very focused on why you want to stop. We can't make this change for other people, and it just doesn't work if we're giving it up for someone else, because then it feels like those two words I just said, giving up. And one of the keys to lasting change is to create this dynamic where we're not giving anything up, we're gaining a new life. And so if you feel like you're giving something up, this is where I want you to get really clear about why would you want to stop. And if you come to the end of this list and you don't want to stop or you're not ready, that's okay too. Everyone comes to this journey, this starting gate at their own pace and their own timing. And that is perfectly fine. But if you have acknowledged and you have new knowledge about why you drink and why you want to stop, then I invite you to move on to the second part. And before we do that, I'm thinking, I have a client who's been telling me that the reason she wants to stop is for health reasons. And if this is you, I want you to get very detailed about those health reasons. Because just saying, oh, I know it's not healthy for me, or, I know I could be healthier if I didn't drink. There's just usually not enough detail. There's not enough powerful reason why. There's not a tug at your heartstrings until you get really granular and you go deep. So perhaps if this is you and you say, oh, I want my relationships to be better, or I want to improve my health, or I know it's harming me. I want you to take a step back and I want you to go deeper. I want you to really look at what does it mean to do this for your health? Is it because you have a terrible gut and you have horrible stomach pains? That's a lot more tangible than just, I want to give it up for my health. Is it because you suspect that your liver numbers are really bad and maybe you're slowly killing yourself? That's a pretty compelling reason. Is it because you are starting to experience more brain fog and you wonder, am I affecting my mental health? Like, is there an Alzheimer and alcohol connection? Spoiler alert, yes, there is. So these are the things that you can really dig into that are going to make the why you want to stop so much more compelling. So once you have that list and you have the knowledge, I want to move on to tactics. So the second part, and again, this is all part of my Stop Drinking in Your 50s and Beyond program, because each week I help people with knowledge, tactics, and then application. And I believe that this is a powerful formula for change. So when we talk about tactics, I want you to really think about what you already have in your toolbox, what you're using, what's working, what feels good, and what you can add, and what you're interested and curious about. We are going to need some willpower on this journey. We're going to need some just flat out determination. We're going to need to lean on other people at times, but we're also going to need some tactical steps to help us stop drinking now. So we're going to, explore all the things that you might take advantage of. And again, I want you to start noticing things that you already do that work for you. Perhaps you routinely take a deep breath when you know you're going to have a uncomfortable situation or conversation. Perhaps you like to walk outside and take your shoes off and ground yourself when you've had a stressful day. Perhaps you find yourself standing up from your desk or getting out of your car and taking a long, deep stretch. Maybe you're someone who likes to get really still and do some meditation. So, whatever you're already doing, put that on your list. Acknowledge that as tactics that you can use on this journey. And then we've got to get really clear about addressing the tactics along with the why and the why not. So if you know that you're using alcohol for stress, then we really want to take a look at those tactics that help us with stress. Things like movement, somatic therapies like yoga, and activating our vagus nerve. There's so many good things we can do. So I want you to get really strategic about maybe connecting the dots between why you're using alcohol and what tools might help in this journey. What tactics can you use? And so much of this is thought work, but it's also, following through with the knowledge that we have, and then we're going to move on to application next. But tactics and tools are a big part of this. And one of the things I love to share with my clients is that if you have tried 100 things to stop drinking, there are 100 more that you have not yet tried. I know there are unending amount of tools and tactics that we can bring to this journey of lasting change and to stop drinking now. So if ever you feel stuck, I want you to think about all of the tools that you've maybe dismissed and haven't tried yet that you could put into practice. And again, I think there are an infinite number of things to try. Everything from creating an urge jar to calling a friend to having a day counter to saving money so that you can participate in something amazing. Whatever you want that comes to mind that might be interesting or that you have not yet tried, or maybe tried but didn't really dig in and give it enough time. Write all these things down. Start noticing if you belong to any of the free support groups around This Naked Mind, or I belong to some Recovery is the New Black, This Side of Alcohol, Present and Sober. There's lots of free Facebook groups out there where people are talking about the tactics that they have used. So tactics are a big part of this because they give us a place to start. They give us a tool to use in that moment when things feel hard. They give us a direction. They allow our brain to start to focus on something really practical and tangible. And when you're in the middle of trying to figure out what to do at 5 o'clock, again, this is going to be really helpful. So, knowledge and tactics. And then the third way to stop drinking now is application. And again, these are my 3 steps that I think I have, shared for so many women just like me and just like you who were stuck, not knowing where to start. And application is a key part of this journey. So it's not enough to know things, and it's not enough to have tools. we have to actually apply the tools. And this is where the rubber meets the road, but it also is such a powerful and exciting place because this is the dynamic part of this journey is where the action happens. So application is all about practice and action, or even action in practice. So we have to actually then do the thing that we have the tool for that we know is going to address our unmet needs, our deep underlying reason that we use alcohol, or the deep underlying reason why we want to stop using alcohol as a buffer, as a numbing agent, as a tool in our life. So, application is where we step out of the stadium seat, as Brene Brown would say, and into the arena. And so now we're going to actually apply what we've learned. And this takes a little bit of time. So when I was designing this new program, I wanted to make sure that we had some time to apply the knowledge and the tools. So in the program that I've designed, and you can do this on your own, I have knowledge that's delivered along with tactics and journal prompts to get people thinking and moving in the right direction and strategizing and coming up with ways to really own the tactics. And then there's 2 days a week, every week, where it's application time. And the application is again where that powerful step of courage and practice takes place. So we can't learn anything or change without applying it. It's one thing to tell a child theoretically, like how to tie their shoe. And we can explain it. We can show them flip charts about it. We can have them watch a YouTube of another person tying their shoe. But the only thing that really helps a child learn to tie their shoe is to practice tying their shoe and making that little rabbit ear and having the bunny, chase around and go loop through the hole, however you taught your kiddo. This is how it works for us in our alcohol freedom journey. We have to actually say, okay, if I'm going to stop when I find myself reaching for that glass of wine, and I'm going to put my hands on the counter and I'm going to count to 10 and I'm going to say my affirmation. And then I'm going to take a deep breath and say, you did it. I'm going to celebrate. Whatever your tactic is, whatever your trigger, your knowledge, your why, and then your tactic, I want you to really focus on this application piece. All the time, I get women that come to me who know what to do, and they're in lots of different groups and they're getting lots of support. The missing piece often is application. Again, it's not enough to know something. If we just had to learn it, no one would be stuck around this alcohol-free journey. But because there's so many layers to how we get stuck and how long we've been stuck and all the ways that we use alcohol and all the habits that are built in, the routines, we really need to practice. And that's where the application comes in. And so I love this idea of having just 3 places to focus early on, kind of like your mini roadmap. So I invite you to give this a try if you're someone who has felt like you don't know where to start and you're ready, but you're feeling maybe defeated around trying in the past or trying on your own, or like I did, spending a lot of time moderating and beating myself up and not knowing really how to get started. So I want to take away that big barrier of where to start by offering you these 3 steps: knowledge, tactics, and application. I hope it's helpful to you. I wish somebody had laid this roadmap out for me when I was starting my journey so that I didn't have to kind of create it on my own. And if you feel like I'm missing some pieces, that's where the tactics come in. All the things that you've tried and maybe had some success with, Things like anticipation or having a carrot or accountability, these are all tactics. So, really, knowledge, tactics, and application can take you very far down this road. And once again, if you're looking for support, I have my new program, Stop Drinking in Your 50s and Beyond. That is a 6-week program where 5 days a week we have knowledge and tactics, and 2 days a week we have application. And because I know some of you love community support and want feedback, there's optional coaching. And this is my most affordable program because I want to help those of you that are at the beginning of your journey have an option to lay this foundation. So I hope this helps. I hope you give this knowledge, tactics, and application a try. Let me know how it's working for you. I would love to hear your feedback. All right. Have a wonderful week, and I'll be back soon. Hey, I want to thank you for tuning in and listening to The Sober Edge. This is a place to have important conversations and a safe place to question everything you thought you knew about drinking. If you're looking for your sober edge, I invite you to connect with me at thesobernutritionist.com, where you can grab my free resource, 5 Healthy Reasons to Take a Break. And I would be grateful if you would take a moment to rate and review this podcast so together we can reach more people who are looking for their sober edge.